Hello, hello,
Hi
hello.
guys.
Hey, welcome back to another J Carter video. And today, spoiler alert, we're going to be talking about the movie Traffic that just came out today, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we just came back to see it. The first thing I'll say is it's I ain't gonna say it's so long, but it's 2 hours long. So if you're not prepared to sit in the theater for 2 hours, make yourself prepared. um,
Actually, it's an hour and 40 minutes.
it feels like 2 hours, but go ahead.
Okay, so the movie starts off with a couple. I wouldn't say young, probably in their 30s to 30, upper 30s. And
Late 30s?
they are pretty much, the girl has a birthday, so they're celebrating a birthday. And he surprises her with a trip, a vacation.
Mm-hmm.
So on their way to this trip, and why do people go to these small towns to visit?
Black folk, especially. But go ahead.
So then they this strange. So they go to the gas station, and the girl go and get her snacks, and the guy's outside pumping the gas, and all this strange stuff happens.
Yeah.
So then, pretty much, they encounter this racist motorcycle gang, and they go back and forth, and then the police come in. The police stops it, and she's like, "Go y'all separate ways. I'm sick of you."
But before that happens, while Paula Patton's character is in the store, right, like she says, all this strange stuff happens. She accidentally bumps into this white skinhead who's like the leader. He knocks down her Slurpee, whatever. I don't even know if we talked about this, but this I thought was interesting too. Like the whole exchange between them, cause she was like he knocks down her Slurpee and he's like, no, let me refill it for you. She's like, no, 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 no. He's like, no, I insist. I'm gonna tell you something. I watched a lot of episodes of SVU and little stuff. Sometimes women tend to do this. They I don't want to appear mean. I was just even watching this video. The McClure family, the McClure twins. Y'all know about the McClure twins? Basically, they was teaching them about boundaries. And sometimes they were teaching, and it was you don't have to hug people, especially if you don't know them. Like, you can say, I can give you a high five, et cetera, et cetera. And these little girls who are 3 or 4, they said something that girls say all the time. It's that, well, I don't want to be mean. And it's sometimes, it's not so much of being mean, but sometimes women tend to, I don't want to be mean, so I'll just, Anyway, I say all that to say because she let him fix her her little Slurpee drink, which I thought that was weird because she didn't know him. But and I guess he could have got her then. I don't know. But anyway, she was just like, well, I don't really want to. I don't really want to. And he's like, no, I insist. And I feel like that's one of the things. Okay, if she's a strong person, she'll stay. Say no. Like he was almost testing her. What do you think? Maybe not. Maybe you didn't see it. Anyway, yeah. So then she's like, no. So anyway, then she goes to the bathroom while her stuff is out there in the front on the counter. And then she interacts with this girl who you don't know until you know. The girl slips this phone in her bag. And the girl is just really weird. And she gets this weird vibe. Like the girl wants to say, help me.
Yeah, and she says hinting doesn't it feel like July
4th of July or something like that.
Okay, so then she leaves. You know how somebody just weird and they give you a strange vibe. So then as they go to the car, they encounter this racist gang who's pretty much are you a ball player? And he's like, well, no. And he's like, well, how do you know? How could you afford this car? He said, I built it from the frame up. He said, oh, you learned that in prison, like that.
Yeah, he's like that prison, so then, prison mechanic institute or something like that.
The black guy man, just go ahead. I don't want no problems. And he spits on the car, and they get in a tussle. And then the cop comes and separates it.
Right.
So then they leaving and they going down, heading to where they're going, and one of the guys followed them. And it's driving really, really fast behind them and kicking the car. And it's it's not a police officer here to help you now. Mm-hmm. And they pretty much knock him off the road.
Yeah, so then they finally drive a little further, and they end up at this beautiful secluded mansion, and they actually got this hookup, this vacation, because the main character, Omar Epps' character, is best friends with this other guy who is a sports agent or something. And you meet them in the beginning of the film, and you see how they interact and all that. And he has a girlfriend, a Spanish girl, the girl that was on Devious Maids. I love her. But So they get to this mansion, and it's beautiful. It's a nice pool. I mean, it's like very open. It's very California, and like it has that like San Fran vibe. But anyway, they enjoy in the house and all that, and even that part is kind of bothersome because it's like I don't know. For me, after experiencing the thing at the gas station and then somebody chasing me, I would be like, you know what? Let's just go home. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, well, for me, once I left the gas station, I would say, well, let's go. Let's turn back around.
Or something, because it's like they're going further and further and further and further into the woods, like into nothingness. Like, to be honest with you, later on when they get into the woods and they have to run from these folks, the first thing I was thinking of, the coyotes gonna get them. Like, I was thinking of, because it's like nothingness. And in California, I mean, they have in other places too, in Georgia, etc. They got the mountain lions, but they heavy in Northern California. But anyway, so they get there, and then what happens?
They get there, they pretty much having their bonding time, and then
the other couple
shows up, and from there, so they just talking, and then the phone rings. And then they're like, your phone. Then they all go through it, and everybody's like, well, no, it's not my phone. And then she's like, it's the girls from the gas station. She must have put it in there.
Yeah.
So she's like, well, let me unlock the phone.
I know. Which was
so then they're trying to figure out the code using the 4th of July.
Right.
But then I'm trying to figure out, now that I think about it, where did the 76 come from?
Oh, because of the 4th of July. 1776.
That girl in that gas station ain't know that.
No. I don't know. And you know what though? I don't know, and you don't know everybody's background, because remember we was talking about that. Like you don't know the background of the people, but 1776, like the 76ers, when the British we were at war with the British and we gained our independence as Americans.
So then they use that code, and then they open it up, and she realizes that it's like all these naked girls on the phone, and that it's like.
But they're not just naked. It ain't like naked pics. It's like sex trafficking. Yeah, it's so obvious.
She's like, I think this is human trafficking. So they're like, no, and they're like, yeah, and she's like, no, and all that. So then, what does happen after that?
Basically, they get so they get into so the best friend, Alas Alonso's character, pretty much gets a phone call. The phone call doesn't go well. It has something to do with one of his athletes, and then he's upset. And then after that, he pretty much kind of tries to bring that anger to the rest of the group. And then he says, because he's like, oh, don't call the police. Don't call the police from that phone. Don't call the police to this house, because this is a business house. And this is why I bring my ball players and all that. And then he's like, yo, I know you worried about da-da-da-da. But he basically outs his girlfriend and his best friend that they had something years ago, whatever. And then what happens after that? So the girlfriend leaves.
Yeah, so the girlfriend storms off. She's like sick of him because he's really a jerk.
In the entire movie. Yeah, and like there is no redeeming quality about this character at all.
Well, one redeeming quality is when they were outside and he was like, just give me my girl back. He said, because my other two friends are already gone. And he really could have been like, oh, they're in the house. Or take them, but he really was like, well, no, they already gone. Don't worry about them. And I like that part.
I think he was trying to save his skin versus save them. But whatever.
But by saying that they wasn't there?
Yeah, because remember, he didn't want that negative publicity to that house.
But he could, you don't see what I'm saying. He could have said, oh, they're in there. It's her fault. Take her or take them. I just want my girl. Let me leave. But he just.
And the sad part is that it's a 2-hour movie. You got to find that one good thing about this character, because he was awful.
I like what he said.
But he did do one thing good, I guess.
So then they come back. The girl pops up at the door, and she's like, "Can I get the phone back?" And she's trying to help her, and the girl's like, "Just give me the phone." And she's like, "No, come in, let me help you."
Not trying to give up this phone.
And the girl's like, "They will kill you," and she's still like, "No, come in and I'll help." And I don't understand why.
Yeah. Well, are we getting more into details into our opinion now?
Let's get into our,
okay, well, let's finish up the story. Basically, what ends up happening is they figure out that these people are involved in sex trafficking. All of the men get shot for whatever reasons. It's different little things. Well, because they don't... Anyway, so the men get shot. The women pretty much end up in, like, this sex trafficking thing. the two girls, Paula Patton character and the Spanish girl from Devious Maids. And the one thing well, let me not give my opinion first, but they end up getting, trapped in this thing, and they end up in this cave, and then you see they're drugging these girls, and it's like a whole bunch of girls. Well, what ends up happening is they end up escaping. The Paula Patton character knows that the sheriff, who they're going to call, is in on it, and it's a scene that I'm skipping because we want to get to our opinion. Anyway, she calls the police. She goes back to that gas station, but she also had emailed and called like somebody, because she was a reporter or something. Called somebody she knew, called the FBI, all that stuff. The sheriff comes there, tries to like lock her up. And then while they're walking out, the FBI comes there. It's pretty much the end of the movie, and she writes, because she's a journalist, tells her story, and that's kind of how this whole thing is like exposed.
And it's based on a true story.
And it's based on true events. Yeah. So down to the nitty gritty, our opinion.
I don't really know what to rate it from a 1 to 10 because I haven't given it that much thought. I thought that the light skinned one, what's his name?
Lance Alonso.
I thought his acting was really good.
I don't think he was acting.
I think his acting was
wink,
really
wink.
good.
If you know me, DM me. I don't think he was acting, but I felt like he was authentic. I thought he was very, very, very authentic. He was like, because the first half of the movie is honestly laughable. Like, it doesn't get, in my opinion, doesn't get good until you realize that it's sex trafficking, because I didn't know too much about the movie before it. But once it gets serious, you're like, oh, snap. Like, it gets really good.
Yeah, and I knew about it because I researched it before. But I thought that the action parts were really, really good and believable. Even the part when they broke into when they didn't break into the house, when her boyfriend dies, I thought her 75% of it was real, the way she responded to him dying.
You mean Paula Patton?
Yeah, Paula Patton character. And then, I don't know, I thought that it's sad in a sense, because I mean, people really go through that, and then what about the people who didn't get out?
Escape. Like, the one thing for me, it definitely revealed, like I was telling Jasmine earlier, is some people who aren't really familiar with the sex trafficking like industry or whatever, like you tend to have one narrative about like, okay, it's these runaways or these poor girls or these drug addicts or whatever, and they kind of get a pimp, and they kind of fall down this wild story of just jack, and you kind of dismiss them like, well, they should have just listened to their mother, or they should have just, you know what I mean? But in this story, I mean, it showed a woman who was very, very much grown, who had a career, who wasn't even trying to, like, she ain't experimenting drugs. She was just living her life, like literally just going on vacation. That's it. And then these people came and got her and sucked her into this world. So for me, I watch SVU, so I've never even seen them kind of have this type of storyline. That was interesting, but the first half of the movie honestly was laughable. Like, some of the stuff was just like, really, bro? Like, come on. Like, some of this is
like,
just
what
not
real. For you?
Like, I don't know. It was a lot, like certain things. Like, I don't know. I can't really put any exact things on it or exact pinpoint. But it was certain parts that I was just like I mean, you can hear in the audience, like, people was like laughing, and it was a lot of conversation, especially the people who were sitting next to. It's a lot of conversation back and forth with the audience in the actual movie, which in my opinion can be good or bad. But once it got serious, it got really, really serious. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would rate it about from 1 to 10. I would give it a solid 7.
I'll give it a 7.
Yeah, because I feel like I learned something from it, which is definitely good, and I felt like I was entertained, but looking at it from like a filmmaker's perspective, it was a lot of things that I was just like, I don't know, certain things that, okay, I'm going to give you a good example. Like, and this wasn't the laughable part, but one of the things that I was just like, okay, they could have cut some of this. Like, this whole romantic montage in the beginning, like, it was a lot. Like, it was a lot. And I even think the whole scene about when the best friend goes, oh, they were together or whatever. I think it was because they wanted to show Omar Epps wasn't perfect. You know, they wanted to create some type of storyline, but it was just like, it canceled it out, in my opinion, because, yeah, he made this one mistake, really, but really wasn't a mistake because they weren't together, but they tried to humanize this extra romantic thing, but it didn't work because you had, like, a good 30 minutes of them straight making out. I mean, from the beginning of the movie to, you know, they're in the car and then they're at the house, like, all of that. Like, it was just a lot. So, I mean, I guess that was the point to show, like, dang, like, she lost. And even, like, the flashbacks, it was just, like, I don't know. That part was interesting, and I thought some parts could have been cut. But other than that, you know, I can't think of anything.
Yeah, me either.
So, a solid 7.
Yep.
I'm going to look at the review on Rotten Tomatoes, and I'll be posting something on Instagram, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
All right.
All right, that's a 15-minute video. Bye, guys.